A relentless barrage is pounding Ukraine. It has become a daily night of terror for Ukrainians. Sumy and Odesa are enduring heavy strikes with glide bombs and missiles. But Kyiv is hitting back with daring drone strikes deep inside Russian territory. This comes as both sides prepare for the third round of talks in Istanbul. Here's a report.
The sky over Ukraine are exploding in fury. Missiles and drones are raining down. In the past 24 hours, Russian warplanes unleashed nearly 50 glide bombs on the Sumy region alone, causing widespread destruction and civilian casualties. Glide bombs converted Soviet-era Fab 500s with sleek wings and satellite guidance have become Russia's favored weapon, a low-cost, high-precision tool that Western defenses struggle to intercept. Their devastation in fortified positions has turned trenches to rubble and streets to death zones. Simultaneously, Odesa was pounded too, leaving trail of death and destruction.
The universe decided that today, on July 22nd, I'm supposed to stay alive and that my car has to burn out. My car burned stronger than the others because I had just filled up my tank.
I ran outside to have a look at my car. I had some hope. Maybe I would manage to drive it away. But it was impossible. There was no way out.
In response, Ukraine unleashed its own aerial counterstrike. Over 100 drones infiltrated Russian airspace, targeting key air bases 1,000 kilometers from Kyiv. Amidst this escalating violence, a flicker of diplomatic hope emerges as Russia and Ukraine prepare for new peace talks in Istanbul. President Zelensky says that former Ukrainian defense minister would be leading the talks. These discussions, following two earlier rounds that yielded little substantive progress on ending the conflict, are being approached with palpable caution. The Kremlin, in particular, has sought to temper expectations, saying that one shouldn't expect miraculous breakthroughs. Despite the grim realities on the ground and the low expectations, the very act of sitting down at the negotiating table, however fraught, represents a slim hope for de-escalation in a conflict that continues to exact an unbearable toll. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Mr. Zakheim is a former Undersecretary of Defense in George W. Bush administration and currently a senior advisor at Center for Strategic and International Studies. Mr. Zakheim is now joining us live from Washington, D.C. Mr. Zakheim, good to see you and thank you very much for your time. Do you have any hopes or is there any glimmer of hope with the talks in Istanbul?
Well, we know that Mr. Trump has given Putin 50 days, both sides, but really Putin 50 days in order to solve the crisis and stop the war. Now, we recall, of course, that Mr. Trump had said he could solve this problem on the first day in office. That didn't happen. I suspect, and of course there's no way of getting inside Mr. Putin's head, that they're sitting down so that he could then say to Trump at the end of 50 days, look, I tried and it's the Ukrainians' fault. I think that's what's happening here. At the same time, as your reporter has noted, the Russian attacks have intensified. So at a minimum, you're going to see very, very intensive Russian attacks for the next 49 or for the 49 days that lead up to that 50th. And then we'll see if the Russians turn around and, as they have in the past, say, look, it's the Ukrainians that are being stubborn.
Mr. Zakheim, why does this look like an experimental war for Russia? Every week or fortnight, they deploy a slew of weapons and missiles on Ukraine. Last month and this month, it was drones, and now this week, it's glide bombs. What do you read here?
Well, it's clear that warfare has taken a dramatic turn, and the Russians have essentially combined two different types of warfare. At the one hand, they still are operating almost in World War I and World War II terms, with armor, with artillery, with grinding it out on the ground. But at the same time, they've realized that that's not enough, that it has to be complemented or supplemented, if you will, with the highest technology. But at the same time, and this is what's so interesting, it's high technology, but it's cheap high technology. Drones are relatively cheap. Glide bombs are essentially ordinary bombs that have been fixed so that they can be satellite targeted. These are not very, very expensive systems to employ, and you can employ lots of them. So what the Russians, I think, are doing is essentially combining two modes of warfare, but even on the high-tech side, opting for what costs less rather than what costs more.
Mr. Dov Zakhaim, it's good to see you. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you for having me again.